Hello there, a very good evening. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And if you are a civil servant, I hope you're back to work. Well, it's another Wednesday and the last for the year, but I can assure you it's no less scintillating than Wednesday nights with me usually are. If anything, today is like the icing on the cake, a befitting close to the year 2017. Now, let me tell you straight up, there was no Federal Executive Council meeting this Wednesday. I'm not surprised, considering that it was a two-day marathon last week. But today we are on top of the fuel situation around the country, with stories about government efforts to stem the scarcity tide. Well, it's end of year, so have you done a review of 2017 in your life? NTA did one on Nigeria's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria. We also continue our sectorial analysis tonight with a focus on the Senate. The season of birthdays is never ending. Today we have something on the Speaker at 50 and what he did to put a smile on faces of IDPs and vulnerable children. Before I forget myself and go on, let me pause here. But there are stories on the Northeast, security, politics, business, agriculture, and sports. So just relax and let me take you through the next 90 minutes of news with the extra touch. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan, and this is News Extra. We begin with the fuel situation in the country. As the government and its agencies are working round the clock to ease the prevailing hardship occasioned by fuel scarcity, there are those who are bent on subverting these efforts just so that they would reap where they did not sow and make mega profits. It was only 2 days ago that the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, read the Riot Act to such unpatriotic Nigerians. Well, today we have the story of the end of the road for some of such people in the Federal Capital Territory, where the Department of Petroleum Resources has clamped down on one of the major petrol stations for hoarding. Lydia Sampson monitored the situation and now reports.
Scenes like these are common sight at petrol stations these days. Tempers are raised at the slightest provocation, usually by petrol attendants not willing to sell the product. This particular incident was stirred up by my persistence to get an interview from the managers of the petrol station. I was simply out for an update on the petrol situation in Abuja metropolis. Armed with the knowledge of the issues at stake, my cameraman and I stopped by a major petrol station along Mabushi in the capital city. We observed that the station was not dispensing despite the long queue and people who besieged the fuel dump. Alas, we got right into a controversy of counter-accusations of sharp practices between motorists and the petrol station attendants.
There's somebody selling fuel in Jarkand. That is why from 8:55 a.m. I only stopped by in about half tank. I only stopped by in this queue because it was not long. But the line was not moving at all.
Yesterday and the remaining one we sold this morning is finished.
You selling to Jericho?
No, I'm not selling to Jericho.
Black market, not Jericho, and they say yeah.
Several efforts to get the attention of the station manager was not successful until I put a call to the DPR. The arrival of the DPR officials in the company of the Assistant Commandant Operation, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, changed the narrative.
My findings here, criminal activity is being perpetuated in this filling station, mobile filling station. And we are going to take appropriate action against the defaulters of these filling stations. And we have received an intelligence report. Here they are saying they are selling in jerrycans. So we are going to work on this. And this is frustrating government efforts in fuel distribution.
As of the closing stock, it's not there. The opening stock is not there, which means they are docking their records. So I think in that regard, we're also going to do something about it.
As at the time of filing in this report, the station manager has been apprehended by the civil defense to help in further investigations. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Department of Petroleum Resources in Oyo State says government has not changed the price of petrol from 145 naira per litre, warning fuel marketers against illegal price increase. The agency, during the monitoring of sales of petrol in Ibadan, discovered some sharp practices by some fuel marketers. Oyeyinka Folaromi has the details.
Our drive ran some major areas in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, like Challenge, Elebu, Idishin, and Oluyole State, among others, showed that majority of the filling stations in the area shut their doors to motorists, while those that have the product dispensed intermittently and above the official pump price. The team of Ibadan Field Office of Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, led by its controller, Oluyemi Olaonipekun, caught an independent marketer hoarding about 12,000 litres of petrol along Elebu and ordered that the products be dispensed without delay.
I, as the controller in the Ibadan Field Office, and other field office controllers have been given serious instruction to do decisively and punish severely any marketer that decided to hold or sell at pump above government-regulated approved price.
Our station was sealed for disorderliness in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Folaromi, NTA News.
Nigeria should establish more refineries to ensure that petroleum products are locally refined to end the recurrent fuel scarcity in the country. Guests on NTA's Tuesday Live suggested this while deliberating on the topic fuel scarcity. Joseph Johnson reports that the guests also discussed rice revolution in Nigeria.
Nigerians are yearning to have a situation where they drive into a petrol station and out with their tanks filled with fuel without being unnecessarily pinned down for hours queuing and sometimes giving up the endless wait. But that seems to be a wish that has over the years become a ritual, especially during the Yuletide period. The lingering fuel crisis, guests on Tuesday Live say, if not addressed, will heighten the disturbing situation at the end of every year.
The work we're doing now is to try and simplify our distribution system, because what has happened, of course, is with the loss of the refining capacity over the years, the market has had to rely largely on imported fuel, which means that we're going all the way from the marine vessels into land, and this is a very complicated way of distributing fuels.
There is need for all stakeholders to come and put hands together to see how best we can be able to bring in machineries that will at least supply whatever demand of refined petroleum product we have within the country. Continuous dependence on importation of petroleum, refined petroleum product is no more sustainable.
While Nigeria has started working on tackling issues relating to smuggling, sabotage, and of course the Yuletide dreaded fuel crisis, Nigerians remain resilient and not discouraged by difficult times, and their hopes undaunted. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, normalcy is gradually returning to petrol stations within the Lagos metropolis as the long queues noticed last week have diminished. Ken Egbeligwe, who monitored the situation, reports that most of the fuel stations that had products were dispensing to motorists.
Drive in the Lagos metropolis revealed the obvious. The long queues noticed in most filling stations last week are gradually disappearing. Motorists now drive in with relative ease to buy petrol. Calm and orderliness prevailed at the dispensing points, unlike the previous week. Some motorists are optimistic that this trend will continue to the end of the year.
Now it's a little bit fair. I can say I didn't even have much stress before I came in here. The queue is not up to 10 vehicles before I get my fuel.
The fire is moving little. You understand? If you can go like this, things go very sweet, very warm.
This week is getting better, and I hope it gets more better.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, through the Department of Petroleum Resources, has directed all Lagos depot owners to increase the volume of supply to stations in the state to end the perennial fuel scarcity. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has described as very unfortunate a statement credited to the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association, DAPMA, on the fuels supply situation, especially premium motor spirit. NNPC affirms that it has supplied appreciable volume to DAPMA, Major Marketers Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, and Independent Petroleum Marketers of Nigeria, IPMAN, to read the challenges currently being experienced in the supply and distribution of petroleum products in the country. NNPC, in a statement signed by its Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Ndu Ngamadu, regrets that DAPMA, which members had taken receipt of products from the company to the tune of 226.7 billion naira as at December 21st, 2007, has the audacity to indict NNPC unjustifiably. NNPC, however, assures the public that it has programmed to supply 1.2 billion liters of petrol in January 2018, translating to about 40 million liters of petrol supply per day, against 27 to 30 million liters consumed by Nigerians per day, and reassures that it has no plans to increase the pump price of petrol above 145 naira per litre. Now, away from the scarcity, the Christmas and Boxing Day holiday fell on Monday and Tuesday this week. And you know, Saturday and Sunday are work-free days. So that was 4 days of holiday for Nigerians, especially civil servants. Now, we have 3 days of work before another weekend and public holiday to mark the new year. But when work resumed today, Adebola Brooksland Sunday went to the Federal Secretariat to see if workers are back. Now let him tell you himself what he found out.
A visit to Blocks A and C of the Federal Secretariat complex shows that workers resumed at the stipulated resumption time, and the few on duty were seen contributing their quota to national development.
Some of the workers say they spend most of the holidays struggling to buy petrol and call on the federal government to find a lasting solution to the challenge.
You can see the offices are scanty today. Some have gone and are unable to come. So these are the challenges attached to the fuel scarcity.
Festive period, you can see everywhere. You can't go out. You can't go out because of fuel scarcity.
They say some filling station they have fuel they doesn't sell. So and you know, government cannot do it on their own except we assist them. So my suggestion is for everybody to join hands together to work out.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, said, based on the word of assurance by President Muhammadu Buhari, the challenge of fuel scarcity, which has hampered smooth resumption of civil servants, will soon be a thing of the past.
We've been calling in that they are facing challenges getting back. But I believe that before the end of this week, almost all those who should be in the office would have resumed fully.
She appreciated the support of the present government to the service and promised not to let Nigerians down.
Excellency, Mr. President has been tremendously supportive of the service. When you actually engage with the various unions, they are very, very appreciative. And I believe we are going to see a total culture change from 2018 going forward.
The federal government had declared 25th and 26th of December 2017 and January 1st, 2018 as public holidays. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Thank you, Adebola. Now, it is usual to look back and plot the path forward at the end of any set period, like the end of year. That is exactly what NTA's Good Morning Nigeria did, and guests on the program have stressed the need for a sense of urgency and discipline in the implementation of government policies to achieve set targets. They stated this while discussing reflections 2017. How far have we come? Lydia Sampson completes the report.
It is tradition for individuals and governments at all levels to reflect on passing year with a view to project for the coming one. Gaston Good Morning Nigeria, while reflecting on 2017, how far have we come, said Nigeria has made tremendous achievements in 2017, especially in the war against corruption and insurgency. They described 2017 as a mixed bag and a missed opportunities.
A lot of things has been done in terms of this corruption. It has never happened in the history of our country.
This is a misnomer. The elites will not complain about that because they are the major beneficiaries. Either they work in the civil service, corporations, or they are collaborators with these, high-ranking officials in these institutions that continue to shortchange the nation. This is basically what is the problem. So it is not that the achievements that we see occurred by accident. They are not accidental discharges. They are products of deliberate efforts of government at various levels.
A sense of urgency in getting things done. We've also improved our rankings on the ease of doing business. That's good news. Yeah. But we also should improve on the speed of doing business.
Government cannot abdicate responsibility, and that's something all of us must always remember. Just like Nigerians cannot abdicate responsibility. The country is ours and everybody's got to put their hands together to fix it.
The guests called for early passage of 2018 budget and urgency in the implementation of policies that will enhance economic growth in the country in the years ahead. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
With a record 79 bills passed, 41 of which came from the House of Representatives for concurrence, 2017 could be described as an eventful year in the Senate. And as the year draws to a close, National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adeguloye highlights the year 2017 from the Senate perspective.
This feat of 79 bills passed in one calendar year is one that has not been achieved in the history of the National Assembly, and this perhaps underscores the focus of the 8th Senate in achieving the core aspects of its legislative agenda. Key features include conscious efforts to pass bills designed to facilitate a conducive business environment and promote foreign direct investment. Supporting the anti-corruption fight of federal governments was another prominent focus of the Senate. One of such bills geared towards this is the Mutual Assistance Bill.
A bill that when the president signs, make it a law, will help Nigeria get our funds, our looted funds repatriated from various parts of the world.
The Senate also adopted the economy as a major focus of its legislative agenda, and this was reflected in bills aimed at diversification and job creation, particularly for the youths. An example of this is the Nigerian Railway Corporation Bill.
Effort is also being made in the bill to attract private investors to invest in the railway business. Not only private investors, state governments and also local governments.
When we're able to get the other parts of the economy, particularly agriculture and solid minerals, when they become functional, we should be able to create jobs as well as create wealth.
The year under review would not be complete without Senate's input in matters of security, and the passage of the North-East Development Commission Bill by President Muhammadu Buhari was a huge plus for the Senate this year.
I can vividly recall when His Excellency Senator Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki visited Maiduguri. He promised that they are going to come up a legislation that will all the challenges of reconstruction, rehabilitation. I would also like to thank President Muhammadu Buhari for signing this bill into law.
Early presentation of the 2018 budget also demonstrated a new level of collaboration between the executive and legislative arms of government, with a view to passing the budget at the earliest time possible.
Well, by all accounts, the Senate has been largely supportive of federal government, due in part to its unity and working through party lines, as well as producing quality bills that will enable federal government to work effectively. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has described Speaker Yakubu Dogara as a true patriot, conscientious politician and a consummate legislative leader. Speaker Dogara received the encomiums as he celebrates his 50th birthday with visits to 19 orphanages to touch the lives of the vulnerable members of the society. National Assembly correspondent Rabi Musa has details of the activities marking the Speaker's birthday.
Dogara's 50th birthday was also marked with a book launch, a visit to orphanage homes, IDP centers, and a novelty football match. The secretary to the government of the Federation read the president's message, describing the Speaker as the backbone of the cohesive relationship between the executive and the legislative arms of government.
Dogara's story is a classical metaphor of a reed-made flint. He is a remarkable example of what is possible in our Nigeria, and indeed a challenge to many generations of present and future Nigerians on the power of having a dream and living it.
In the last 2 years, I have found a gentleman who is very humble, very hardworking, who believes in building friendship, a bridge builder, and somebody who is very reliable.
Speaker Yakubu Dogara reacts to the honor done to him by the creme de la creme of the society who marked his birthday with him.
What matters more to me is the future.
The Speaker had earlier celebrated with orphans at some children's home within the capital city of Abuja. Rabi Musa, NTA News.
Thank you, Rabi. Now, when people write and launch books, or books are written about them and launched, it is usually to contribute to literature and in most cases to also make money, especially politically motivated books. But not so with the Speaker of House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, who has donated about 300 million naira proceeds from the launch of a book about him to IDPs and the vulnerable members of the society. Again, Rabi Musa tells us that the Speaker announced this, saying the gift is in the spirit of the season and his 50th birthday.
We decided, alongside my friends, that we will invest every dime, every penny we are raising, from the charity football match to this event, the book donations, and so on and so forth. We'll invest everything to charity, particularly to address the plight of the IDPs in my region of the Northeast.
Speaker Yakubu Dogara visited 19 orphanages within the Federal Capital Territory to celebrate his birthday with the orphans and took along various gift items. He promised to collaborate with his colleagues and friends on ways to bring succor to the centers.
I think it's a challenge that has been thrown to us to be able to speak to the authorities to see whether the less privileged can find accommodation in our health institutions in the FCT.
He did this as a challenge to all other meaningful Nigerians.
The management staff of the Abuja Children's Home, Karu, and that of Abuja Unity Orphanage, Gwagwalada Area Council, appealed for legislation that will provide for free healthcare and education for the vulnerable children.
We rely heavily on the support we receive from good-spirited men and women in the society.
Children are very, very happy and delighted that you have come. You know, all along they will be seeing you on television. They didn't know that it can be this real.
That he chose to celebrate his golden jubilee, his birthday, with people who really need help, shows that he's the ideal leader.
He chose to celebrate with less privilege. He chose to share with people that he knows he will help them.
It's just an indication of the type of person he is. You know, he's a man that is full of humility.
All friends and members of the House of Representatives speak on the man Yakubu Dogara.
And we're celebrating a God-fearing man.
Somebody who is really a committed leader.
Detribalized Nigerian.
Serving and former public officers and their wives, captains of industry, members of the diplomatic corps, the academia, traditional rulers, and cream of media men were in attendance at the Speaker Yakubu Dogara's Golden Jubilee celebration.
What better way to celebrate one's birthday? Well, here is wishing the Speaker a happy 50th birthday. And still speaking about birthdays, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Nigeria's former High Commissioner to the United Kingdom and veteran broadcaster Dr. Christopher Kolade, who turns 85 years. The president, who rejoices with friends and family of Dr. Kolade for the graceful life of the octogenarian, says his achievements in various undertakings in public and private sectors clearly underscore his power of discipline, focus and integrity. Buhari commended Dr. Kolade for his contributions to national development as an academic, administrator and diplomat. He prayed that God will continue granting him more wisdom, long life and good health for him to continuously serve the nation and humanity. Luck runs out on criminals as more kidnappers end up in police net. And as workers resume duty after Christmas, in Osun State the story is different, as civil servants down tools over salary payment. Details coming your way after the break. Don't go away.
Ho, ho, ho. This year, I'm on holiday. You know why? Because Glow is giving out a massive 200,000 naira to everyone.
200,000 naira for everyone.
Get free 200,000 naira preloaded on the new Jumbo SIM. Existing customers dial *224# to enjoy. Now every SIM is a Jumbo SIM, and every 100 naira recharge is also a chance to win fantastic prizes in the Everyday Bonanza.
There's no better gift.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
A beautiful life and a great future is possible. Stand with Standards Organization of Nigeria. Avoid substandard products, electrical appliances with damaging effects, tires without DOT number, stuffed and rusty edges. They can cause accidents. 12.5 kg LPG cylinders used as camp gas is a disaster waiting to happen. Substandard cables can cause inferno. Other substandard products to avoid include batteries, electrical bulbs, iron rods, pressing iron, brake pads. They will only endanger our today and future. Join hands with SON in ridding our country of substandard products. Don't buy or sell substandard products. See something, say something. Call these numbers. Standards Organization of Nigeria. Improving life through standards.
Kamaru, kí ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀?
Ṣé bí mo ti sọ fún yín tẹ́lẹ̀, nǹkan kékeré ni.
Àgbà.
Ohunkóhun tó bá gbà ní kó fún un láti gba síìmù Airtel rẹ padà tó o bá ti ṣaláìlò fọ́gbọ̀n ọjọ́ tàbí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ra owó ìpè ọlọ́gọ́rùn-ún náírà kó o sì tẹ *241# láti gba ẹgbẹ̀rún 2 náírà.
Gbèsè! Kamaru mẹkáníìkì mọ̀ sí bọ́kọ̀ mi jẹ́.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Take a good look at our world today and you'll discover something interesting. More and more drivers are choosing mobile motor oils. You see, as engine performance becomes more important than ever, the vehicle owners are coming to expect more from their engine oils. They're demanding more mileage on a single oil change. They're demanding longer-lasting engines and smoother rides. They're demanding the best. And with Mobile, that's what they get. We raised the bar for motor oils with the Mobile Super 1000. And with the Mobile One, we raised it even higher. And because it's made using the most advanced engineering processes, Mobile motor oils leave your engine super clean, increase its durability, and keep it so well protected, it never stops running. So success for you depends on continuous movement. You need engine oil, engineered for that purpose. Mobile. Performance at its best.
make it mobile.
Welcome to the Valletta Book of Celebrations.
Life is celebration, my celebration, your celebration, our
The morning dew is a celebration of a new dawn. The sun celebrates the day. The moon celebrates the night. Valletta's sparkling fruit drink, with its sparkling bubbles, celebrates every moment with you. Celebration is for everyone. Anytime, anywhere. Celebration goes beyond special occasions. Enjoy the refreshing taste of celebration anytime, anywhere with Valletta.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Nivea combines its unique care with natural cocoa butter and vitamin E. For intensive nourishment that lasts. Glowing, radiant skin. Cocoa butter body lotion from Nivea. Now say goodbye to dry skin with great Nivea specials this Harmattan.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
It's nice to have you back with me on News Extra. Now, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has described those criticizing the recent approval of $1 billion by the Governors Forum towards tackling security crisis in the country as uninformed and partisan. The minister was speaking at a media briefing in Lagos. Amechi Pius was there.
The minister's argument was hinged on the role of the military in tackling the numerous security crises faced by the nation. Alhaji Lai Mohammed acknowledged that although Boko Haram has been degraded, he pointed out clearly that the war is not over, adding that fighting an asymmetric war is costlier than fighting a conventional war. For instance, he put the cost of spares for aircraft from January to November 2017 at a little over 20 billion naira, while consumables such as engine oil, plugs, among others, he noted, was at 3.86 billion naira monthly and 46.36 billion naira yearly.
We are using the Air Force as a reference point here. What about the cost of acquiring Air Force platforms? For example, the 12 Super Toscano aircraft recently approved for sale to Nigeria by the US government cost a whopping $490 million US. Yet, this is a government-to-government contract. not to talk about the cost of spares or munitions or other consumables. Let's remember that the costs stated above are for the Air Force alone and restricted to operations in the Northeast alone. We have not even talked of the Army or the Navy, which are also fully involved in tackling internal security challenges in the country.
He said, had the military been better equipped to tackle Boko Haram in the early days of the insurgency and funds meant for security not diverted to private pockets, thousands of lives of the nation's servicemen would have been saved. Alhaji Lai Mohammed also added that there may not be any need to withdraw the $1 billion from the excess crude account today.
Ours is a disciplined government that does not allow allocated funds to end up in private pockets or spent on prayers. We'll always empower the military and other security agencies to be better able to carry out their tough tasks. It's common knowledge that the allocation to the military is not commensurate with the internal security challenges we face, for which we have had to continuously rely on the military to assist the police and the Civil Defense Corps.
The minister also disclosed that government welcomes constructive criticism, but frowns at distortion of facts and sensationalism when it concerns security of the nation. In Lagos, Amechi Pius, NTA News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has assured troops of Operation Lafia Dole of improved welfare to boost their morals as they enhanced peace and security in the Northeast. The Army boss gave the assurance in a message to an event to mark Christmas with the troops in Goza, Borno State. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the details.
Since assumption of office in 2015, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai made it a tradition to visit troops in the front line during festive period like Christmas and Salah celebration. The visit to Goza, about 2 hours drive from Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, is inspirational to soldiers and officers in the Operation Lafia Dole. In his Christmas and New Year message, the Chief of Army Staff charged troops to be vigilant at all times.
This celebration is a testimony to our successes and also a celebration of our gallantry and loyalty in the maintenance of peace and security in Nigeria.
The new theater commander Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Nicholas Rogers, assured Nigerians that the counter-insurgency operation will soon be over, while commending the Nigerian Army for its multidimensional approach to the socio-economic challenges confronting communities in their areas of responsibility. Senator representing Borno South, Ali Ndume, appealed to other paramilitary agencies to fill the gap in the Northeast.
We are particularly grateful to Almighty God and President of Muhammad Buhari, who intensified the war against insurgency that led to our success.
Goza was captured by the Boko Haram in 2014 and declared the headquarters of their caliphate before it was retrieved by the military in 2015. From Goza in Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Well, there is no doubt that life has continued to get better for the people of the Northeast geopolitical zone after the liberation of their towns and villages from the Boko Haram insurgents. Government has continued to take measures that will make them return to normal life. One of such is the Emergency Health Intervention Plan of the Presidential Committee on the Northeast Initiative, which treated more than 3,000 patients. Chimdima Ndubisi reports that a medical team of 60 volunteers from Nigeria and the United States spent 5 days attending to the people.
This sea of heads are patients with different ailments and their relations who came to Potiskum from across Yobe State to benefit from the emergency health intervention by the Presidential Committee on the Northeast Initiative. For 5 days, the team of medical personnel consulted and prescribed drugs to the patients and carried out 170 minor and major surgeries, including emergency cesarean sections. 1,925 laboratory tests were carried out. 575 eye patients regained their sight after cataract surgeries, while 204 were given free eyeglasses. Patients with dental problems also benefited as 1,072 dental procedures were carried out. As expected, the joy of the people knew no bounds.
We are very grateful for this gesture.
This is unprecedented. May the Almighty reward you all.
It was not all treatment, though, as nutritional, HIV and reproductive health education were taught while the patients waited for treatment. The emergency health intervention exercise will be carried out in all the states of the Northeast.
Well done there for that medical outreach. And away from the Northeast, a group of kidnappers suspected to be responsible for the kidnap and murder of a Portuguese expatriate attached to a cement company in Abuja, Kogi State, and his 2 policemen attached in October this year, has been nabbed and paraded alongside other crime suspects in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital. Force Public Relations Officer Jimo Moshood said the success was premised on the swift deployment of IGP intelligence team attached to Operation Absolute Sanity in the state.
Kogi is the gateway to about 19 states when traveling to the nation's capital, Abuja. It is also said to be a place of refuge for many ethnic groups and continues to expand in trade and commerce. This perhaps could have been the source of attraction to many criminals who kidnap for ransom, cattle rustlers, armed robbers and other criminal acts using the state capital, Lokoja, as their haven. Therefore, the parade of the 30 suspects is a plan to stabilize insecurity in the confluent state. Some of the suspected criminals confessed to the crimes, while the PRO Lokoja Police Command ASP William Maya had a busy time translating their confession to English language since they spoke in their dialects.
These suspects are interstate suspects that move from Kogi to Edo to some part of FCT and equally to some part of Enugu State to kidnap people. And the Inspector General of Police, who cannot afford to leave the state without properly being manned.
The Force PRO CSP Jimo Moshood said 500 suspects and many gangs have been cracked in the last 2 weeks in Kogi, Abuja, Kaduna and Niger states, pledging the sustenance of the crime fight by the police.
We expect that the people in this region will continue to cooperate with the police force as they've been cooperating.
He said investigations are underway to arrest other members of the syndicate who are at large. Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
And as normalcy gradually returns to Buhari in the Federal Capital Territory, the Council Chairman Musa Dikko has called on the people and leaders of thought to give peace a chance, as meaningful development can only be guaranteed in an atmosphere of love and peaceful coexistence. This came up at an emergency extraordinary security meeting convened by the area council, as Abdullahi Hajia now tells us.
We should try and live in peace.
Well, I've been calming my people. I said they shouldn't go on violence, and I'm giving the assurance that the peace will reign in Buhari.
Understanding the imperative of dialogue as a strong instrument of resolving conflict, the extraordinary security meeting brought together relevant groups and heads of security agencies who spent several hours discussing how to leverage on the relative peace in the area that witnessed destruction of properties in Buhari Market on Christmas Day. Chairman Buhari Area Council Musa Dikko appealed to all to be patient with the conciliation and peace process, which will address every problem associated with the crisis, reassuring all of their safety.
With what we have on the ground right now, normalcy is returning to Buhari Area Council with every speed. The security agents in Buhari Area Council have lived up to expectations. We must live as one Nigeria. It doesn't matter where you come from. And of course, we cannot develop if we are not together.
Heads of security agencies read the riot act on anyone who plans to disrupt peace or violate the 6 to 6 curfew, warning that they are poised to maintain peace in the area. saying investigation is ongoing to get to the root of the incident.
The area is already calm. You can see people going about their lawful businesses. Business premises are open. Banks are doing their businesses. We just call the meeting to advise the people.
As parents were urged to prevail over their words and children, representative of the FCT administration as well as religious leaders emphasized forgiveness as a way forward. The Buhari Council resolved to partner with the FCT administration to get support for victims who suffered losses in the unfortunate incident. From Buhari Area Council in Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
And a look at the political scene now. Nigeria now has 67 registered political parties and still counting, less than 450 days to the 2019 elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission confirms to NTA News that more than 90 applications are before the commission seeking registration. It is against this background that political correspondent Abdullahi Garba takes a look at the political party registration in Nigeria and its implication, if any.
By constitutional requirements, INEC has the power to register associations to become political parties, provided they meet requirements no matter the number. The requirements include associations must not have divisive tendencies and must be spread and democratic in nature to accommodate all interests. Since it is a constitutional matter, an individual can initiate the process and thereby form association to seek registration as a party.
The first step is to write a letter of application or to indicate interest. So in terms of how many people can sit down and do that, it can be one person. It has to be able to have, it must not be restricted to particular sectors or sections.
Although there are reservations over the proliferation of parties in Nigeria, observers, including political elites, are of the belief that the rights of Nigeria must be respected in allowing more political parties.
Democracy is a wonderful thing. You do what you want when you want it, and nobody talks to you about that. But mind you, if we are learning from other advanced democracies, you find there are some political parties. There are, if you go to America now, there are many political parties, but only two are known.
So let there be a shift in the ideological drive of these political parties. Let it not be business as usual, so that from the ideologies you can know which party stands for what.
On the overbearance of some of the parties over the others, INEC believe it is the responsibility for each party to be proactive, and it can only come in when regulations are breached.
Although there is no any basic law that allows INEC to register any political party, but non-compliance to all of the regulations set by INEC before the registration allows INEC to register a political party. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari and his wife, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, have expressed gratitude to Nigerians for the good wishes and prayers for their son, Yusuf, who had a bike accident. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said Yusuf, who had a broken limb and injury to the head, is in a stable condition after a surgery in a clinic in Abuja. When we come back, a central bank governor speaks on Forex and more on business news. We'll be right back.
Season's greetings from FCMB, My Bank and I.
Sit up Supreme Noodles.
capturing the tasty goodness. It's the Sidap Supreme Chicken Essence that gives it the truly delicious chicken taste. With real chicken essence. Be Supreme, Nigeria.
Chewing gum neutralizes bad odor. It doesn't just disguise them, it gives you real minty breath.
If you need help to give Mom a helping hand, please raise your hand. And if you're not quite satisfied after playing hard and need more energy, please raise your hand. And if you still need more to keep going, let's see those hands sky high to receive Freshio, the nourishing, thick, and delicious yogurt drink that fills you up for what's ahead. Natural goodness of yogurt. Freshio. Fill up and keep going.
I got the power, me I know they order, I know the footballer, but I sabi do the Ronaldos. I got the power, me I know the border, I know the
Hello. You look awesome. Thank you. Tell me, what have you been up to?
My dear, I walked down the road.
Ah.
Yeah. Tell me about you now.
See, I'm doing so well.
Seriously?
How much
Tell me, just me now.
Okay, so I'll tell you. Okay.
Excuse me, what was that now?
This is so much money.
So much what? Why did it become... Oh my God, I don't even want to mention it.
Tell you shouting.
Why won't I shout?
It's nothing bad.
Did you say it's nothing bad? Mr. Luka just found out that his son James was drowned at sea. And Mama Osaro too. Oh God, that poor woman. She was told that her daughter Nene was found on the streets of Italy, engaged in prostitution. But Masikiri just learned that. No, don't tell me that. I'm really disappointed.
It's not what you think at all. What, you have to go, well, I have to go.
No, come back. Even Zainab, come, let me tell you.
No.
Don't be deceived. You could be the next victim of human trafficking or slavery. Don't fall for it.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
You're welcome back. Now, the federal government set to plug deficit with $300 million from diaspora bond, as CBN report indicates increase in banks borrowing by 25% in December, plus stock market report. Musa Toliet is our guide on business news.
Hello and thanks for joining us on Business News segment. Compliments of the season to you. The federal government is set to plug budget deficit with $300 million from the diaspora bond. Director General Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha, made this known in a statement released by the DMO office. She emphasized the need to refinance debt portfolio of the country in order to necessitate the realization of the diaspora bond and $3 billion Euro bond. Oniha noted that the $300 million diaspora bond would boost the country's profile with Nigeria's first ever SEC-registered debt instrument, support the federal government's drive towards economic diversification, and sustain momentum in tapping into the international markets following prior issuance. The DMO boss added that another benefit of borrowing from international market is the leverage it will give to the private sector, which is the opportunity to borrow at good rates. The Central Bank of Nigeria says banks borrowing from CBN increased to 52% in the first 3 weeks of December. In a statement released on CBN's standing lending facility window data, liquidity challenges in the economy is responsible for the amount of money that the commercial banks borrowed from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Deposit money banks in the country borrowed 2.30 trillion naira from the regulator to cover the cash shortfall position between December 1 and 22, 2017. The CBN SLF data showed that banks borrowed 119.836 billion naira, 132.61 billion naira, 163.135 billion naira, 110.739 billion naira and 87.892 billion naira between December 18 and 22, 2017. Let's now see how transactions went on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Trading closed on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange with an all-share index of 37,889 at a decline of 1.64%. A total of 425 million shares were traded, valued at 2 billion naira in 2,937 deals, while the market capitalization stood at 13 trillion naira. Mobil, Cadbury, Dangote Sugar, Etna and Fidelity Bank PLC topped the gainers table, while Dangote Cement, Nigerian Breweries, Okomo Oil, Presco and PZ topped the losers table.
Stock market reports ends business news segment. News Extra continues shortly. Many thanks for watching.
Effective regulation in the nation's financial system has largely helped in dousing inflationary troubles occasioned by scarcity of foreign exchange witnessed earlier in the year. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, spoke on this and more.
The reserve had gone down. We needed to do a few things to begin to boost the supply of foreign exchange into the market. We introduced a couple of measures, and one of which is what people talk about predominantly today, the investors and exporters window. We did a couple of things to make sure that we brought in confidence into the FX market, making sure that people who want to access foreign exchange are able to access foreign exchange and at good prices. You want to import, you're a small business, you want to import, you need to have access to foreign exchange. You want to pay school fees, you should be able to pay your school fees because you're entitled to it. You want to travel, you need to be able to procure foreign exchange. So we made all this possible, and it helped to a great extent in moderating the market, keeping the foreign exchange market stable. The element of
Well, there'll be more on that tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. on Towards a Greater Nigeria with Omotosho. Now, for locals of Hypam Village, one of the communities where the inland dry port is situated, a new glimmer of hope and windows of opportunity has opened with the progressive work going on at the port. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, who visited the port, reports on their excitement.
Plateau, created out of the then Benue Plateau State in 1976, with captivating landscapes, is one of the states where the inland dry port is located. Situated in Hypang, a popular community in Barkinladi local government area, the inland dry port, when completed, will receive cargoes from seaports through railway and road transport, then sent through same channel. Located on a vast land, a stone throw to the Hypang Airport and a train track, the Jos Dry Port is about 65% completion. With 20,000 metric tons capacity, expected to be upgraded to higher capacity. Most facilities are already completed. Both the rail track and the road linking the ports are in good shape.
Honestly, we are happy. We are getting something to support ourselves.
Not too far from the port is the village where locals are residing. The youths are happy and expectant, being vibrant and idle.
If our youth are engaged, all these social vices in the society will be stemmed out. It will boost the economy.
For the little ones, the picture may not be too clear for now, but the signs of new structures is a sign of better days ahead for them. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
Well, there is one agricultural input that has come to mean a lot to the farmer in his bid for a bonfire harvest. That input is fertilizer. It used to be imported. It's now locally produced. The demand is still high from the south to the north. In this report, Uchechukwu Chibweze Idam reports on the increased capacity production of the commodity in Ebonyi State.
Established in 2004 by the former governor of the state, Dr. Sam Omini Ebo, to give a boost to agriculture in the state. The Ebonyi State fertilizer plant barely produced as much as could satisfy the requirements of the local farmers then. Now the story has changed. In spite of being the only one in the southeast, the plant was left moribund for years before the intervention of Governor David Umahi with adequate funding, which has enabled it to produce 40 metric tons of all kinds of NPK fertilizers hourly, with the support of the federal government through her Presidential Fertilizer Initiative program and the effort of the new management staff of the plant.
The current government released 100 million to the fertilizer plant last year, and because of that, 2016 witnessed an increased production activity in the fertilizer company. This year, we were keyed into the new program on ground, Presidential Fertilizer Initiative program. So the intervention in fertilizer, that President Buhari, is a laudable achievement.
Notwithstanding the challenge of poor sales, even at a government-subsidized rate, among other discouraging factors, the state government is currently expanding the area as it plans to acquire another automated fertilizer plant for the state.
There should be enough constant power supply, because that is what has affected. We spend so much money buying diesel.
Farmers no longer scout around for fertilizer, they can easily get it.
Not only has the capacity production of the plants improved, the high quality of the product is not in doubt.
In the place I used it 2 years or 3 years ago, I've been getting enough rice.
Reputed as one of the leading fertilizer plants in the country, suffice it to say that the Ebonyi State fertilizer plant does not only ensure food security for the state, but also contributes significantly to the nation's agricultural sector. In Abakaliki, Uche Bezida, NTA News.
Yes, it is sweet potatoes, available and affordable, and if you have appetite for this diet, you may wish to take advantage of paying less for more from what appears to be the saturated market of the commodity in parts of the country at this time of the year. But as you may crave for the commodity, there is the larger picture on concerns of storage and value addition in line with the federal government's drive to addressing challenges in the agricultural sector. From Lafia, Abubakar Usman Akwanga tells us more about the story of mixed fortunes.
It is another cycle of harvest for farmers. The traditional crop is famous in many states of Nigeria as little effort is required to cultivate the crop. Statistics show there is a yearly output of 527,000 tons, and it is an important trade item in most markets across the country.
Potato now much that 2,000 naira nawamba.
When you go meet the man where they buy it, you tell you that no money now.
Consumption of the sweet vegetable crop comes in a variety of ways, through boiling, fermented drinks or juice, chips, and the leaf as soup ingredient. Medically is proven to be an excellent source of carbohydrates, and generally because of its availability and affordability is a formidable source of food security for the nation. However, farmers are facing a glut and post-harvest losses due to lack of technology for storage. Unlike yams, hardly can sweet potatoes last more than 1 month without losing its value. The farmers are very worried. What we are getting in return is not commensurate with the value of our labor. Players in the agriculture sector proposed the urgent shift of attention from the mass production of local variety of potato to the improved orange flesh owing to market demand.
It can be processed and be turned into chips that can be packaged into nylon and be sold in supermarket. If we can begin to do that, we'll see that simple utilization of this product will add value to it.
Findings show that the All Farmers Association in Nasarawa State is encouraging farmers to embrace the cultivation of the orange flesh sweet potatoes above the local variety. In Lafia, I am Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Many thanks, Abubakar. And still talking agriculture, with the auspicious festive season here with us, The mere mention of rice may elicit some feeling because of its value as a prominent diet component for most families in Nigeria. In fact, findings show 7 million metric tons of rice is consumed annually, as production this year ramps up to 15 million. Well, before you go for it on the menu, the flourishing of rice cultivation and value chain addition across milling industries with comparative advantage of the commodity takes precedence. Joshua Ojito takes us through the Lafia rice cottage industry, which is promoting food security and income generation for hundreds of participants.
Lafia rice cottage industry, like the ones in Abakaliki, is in the forefront of making impact on food sufficiency in Nigeria. The recovery of the Lafia mill is direct impact of the rice revolution. The millers are satisfied with the prospects while appreciating the Buhari administration for its initiatives of agricultural development. Trader from eastern Nigeria shares similar sentiment with the government on popularizing made in Nigeria rice for consumption.
This our government is very nice. Before we travel to Lagos, buy foreign rice, spend money, big money. Now we're there for Lafia.
And when you patronize this, you are making Nigeria economy stronger.
Daily turnover is in millions of naira from more than 155 stand-alone mills, which are providing hundreds of jobs to the people. The government has stepped in to boost the industry in collaboration with the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, by building an ultra-modern rice mill complex.
We are concentrating on the value chain approach to agricultural production.
With this plan, I believe will add additional value to our product.
Stakeholders say doing more to increase the tempo of production and motivating farmers is important.
That is why assistance is required. That's what education, enlightenment is required.
In addition to the Lafia mill, there are equally other successful ones privately owned, contributing to the revitalization of the rice industry in Nasarawa State. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Now, last week Wednesday, News Extra started the NTA series about the payment of workers' salary, which the president practically begged governors to pay from the Paris Club refund so that civil servants would enjoy Christmas. We have received a flurry of stories from NTA stations across the country, indicating that at least civil servants got some sort of payments, even if they are still being owed some months. But not in Osun State. At the last count, civil servants in the state have begun an indefinite strike over what they say is irregular salaries and poor condition of service. Adeni Taiwo reports that the workers have picketed the state secretariat.
Despite the fact that the two-day holiday declared by the federal government for Christmas ended yesterday and work is expected to resume today, here at the Osun State Secretariat, the environment is very, very quiet as the offices are under lock and keys. This is not connected to the fact that civil servants in the state are making good their threat to embark on strike over modulated salaries and other issues so connected. They are here at the gate ensuring that the strike succeeds. The strike is sequel to the expiration of a 21-day notice issued by the workers on December 5 to embark on strike should the government fail to meet their demand for full salaries, payment of arrears, and promotion of deserving workers. Armed with placards bearing messages of their anguish and the reason for the action, the workers took over the premises of the State Secretariat to enforce the strike and prevent junior workers on grade levels 1 to 7 who were not affected by modulated salaries from breaking the ranks. Picketing the State Secretariat was, however, not without some drama as the angry workers chased top government officials, including the special assistants to the governor on security, away from the Secretariat. Addressing the workers, NLC State Chairman Jacob Adekomi, who observed that the state recently received 6.3 billion naira Paris Club refund, said it was time for the state government to reciprocate workers' perseverance by meeting their demands.
We are not talking of salaries alone. These workers level 1 to 7 that you are talking of have not been promoted since 2010. Since 2012. These workers that you are talking to have not been having their annual increment. These workers that you are talking to have not been converted. These workers we are talking about, they are not been confirmed. So what are we saying? And we now say, okay, with the allocation that was received, why can't we have full salaries, at least for once?
State government, in its reaction, through the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Lani Badeniwa, appealed to the workers to call off the strike, citing the need for more time to grow the finances of the state.
The end to the financial crisis is in sight. Men of noble character, citizens of the state too, are getting involved in it, and they are engaging the labor too, trying to make them see reason why, it should be resolved in the interest of the state and its people.
Since 2015, Osun State government had been paying 75% and 50% salaries to workers on grade levels 8 to 12 and 13 to 17, respectively, in Osogbo. Adini Itaiwo, NTA News.
Up ahead, Calabar goes agog as Carnival gets underway. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for inspiring greatness in me, Alaji.
Alaji?
I am just rehearsing, dear.
Rehearsing for what?
A life-changing and inspiring meeting.
With who?
Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
With the FGNI app and just 500 Naira, you stand a chance to meet one-on-one with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, and win cash prizes. As the Be Inspired meetings give Nigerians a chance to meet one-on-one with icons. To qualify for the draw, download FGNI app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Go to the Be Inspired section and follow the instructions. Cost of travel and accommodation of all winners within Nigeria will be borne by the organizers. Terms and conditions apply.
Proudly supported by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
It's that time of the year when we appreciate all those that mean so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, businesses, and above all, you, our esteemed viewers. Together, we made 2017 great. Together, we shall make 2018 even greater. That's why we say thank you. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
For the last 24 years, NAFDAC has made steady progress in ensuring that the health of the nation is protected. Our collective responsibility is eliminating substandard, falsified, and unsafe drugs, medical devices, foods, and water.
I urge all Nigerians to support NAFDAC in safeguarding our health. God bless Nigeria.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Now, with the Christmas and New Year celebrations in the air, the period can be safely called season of festivals, and Cross River State is one place you wish to be if you want to experience cultural extravaganza. I can tell you that no fewer than 25 states of the Federation have participated in the 2017 Cultural Carnival of the state, showcasing their rich cultural heritage. Uduak Etim reports that the parade, which also featured the 18 local government areas of the states, seeks to strengthen the cultural ties across the country.
The cultural parade, which is a window to the Carnival Calabar, showcases the rich African culture to the world. Governor Ben Ayade noted that the cultural parade is an avenue for national integration and called for the strengthening of unity in the country through intense learning of history, culture, and tradition.
Here we are in the street celebrating what Africa stands for. Love for each other, putting the shoulder for your younger brother to lean on. That's what we represent.
Participants called for sustenance of the renewed drive towards the historical and cultural heritage of the country.
So for me, it's a rallying point for us to unite as a state and keep pushing forward and, of course, wish for a better tomorrow.
We don't joke with our tradition. You can see traditional carnival. It's something else. It's very unique.
The significance is unity. We are one Nigeria.
The event, which attracted spectators within and outside Nigeria, took the troops through various adjudication points. In Calabar, Udwak Etam, NTA News.
Well, tourism thrives during holidays in Israel, especially in the last month of the year. Tourists and pilgrims alike are naturally drawn to places of historic and religious interest, to draw from the rich cultural heritage and, more importantly, to relive the historic events of 2,000 years ago. Lydia Odije-Ochi takes us on a journey to Mount of Temptation in the state of Palestine of the biblical times.
Located in Jericho, also referred to as the oldest city in the world, the Mount of Temptation is known to be the hill where Jesus was tempted by the devil. With very impressive, imposing heights to the onlooker, it has a gravity-defying monastery clinging to its sheer surface. 150 steps takes visitors to its interiors, but it's not a climb for the faint-hearted.
When we imagined what Jesus Christ went through, you know, climbing this mountain, it was really awesome. The view was so great.
Just coming out of the mountain where Jesus Christ was tempted by the devil. Lydia Odije-Ochi for NTA News.
Now imagine this scenario. You cannot swim and someone pushes you into a sea and surprisingly you neither sink nor drown. Now back to reality. That is what will happen if you were pushed into the Dead Sea in Israel. It is 997 feet deep with a salinity of 342 kilograms. Now Oyinaya Olayinka Ojo, who was in Israel, decided that the Dead Sea is intriguing enough to share its features with you, brings answers to these questions that I'm sure are going through your mind. Olayinka tells us more about the Dead Sea.
The Dead Sea is located at about 25 kilometers east of Jerusalem. Investigations show that the ancient Romans named the place the Dead Sea, a majestic body of deep blue waters, so salty that no fish or plant live in it. This is because the Dead Sea, a UNESCO World Site, is the lowest point in the world. The water itself is a big attraction as everything in the Dead Sea floats. Although rich in minerals, it is 8.6 times saltier than the ocean. Yuval Statman, a historian with the knowledge of the site, told pilgrims that many treasures such as salt diamonds are created in the deep mud. The Dead Sea, which is some 400 meters below sea level, is however gradually disappearing.
And this Dead Sea, now it's about minus 430 meters. Every year, this Dead Sea loses 1.5 meters because of the evaporation. The thing is that this sea is between the Judea desert and the mountains of Jordan. And the evaporations here makes the salt stay. That's why today the percentage of salt in the Dead Sea is more than 30%.
Because of its high level of salt, no one dips his or her eyes in the water. Like River Jordan, the Dead Sea attracts visitors from all over the world every year, as it is believed to have therapeutic values. Even the mud in the Dead Sea is precious, as it is said to provide relief from skin ailments.
Your experience here is that we should think about the greatness and mightiness of God.
Very good for the skin, but not good for those for hypertensive.
Stopping by the Dead Sea the next time you're in Israel will be a good idea to feel the work of nature. From the Dead Sea in Israel, Olainka Uju, NTA News.
Many thanks, Olainka, for that intriguing story from Israel. We now pause for some messages, after which we'll be updating you on sports. Stay with us.
The time has come for Nigeria to take her rightful place in world sports with the first national grassroots sports festival to discover and prepare sport talent and develop future world champions for Nigeria. The festival date is 3rd to 10th March 2018. Venue is the National Stadium, Abuja, packages A and B. This is the opportunity for you to promote your brand through the festival. For broadcast sponsorship, which include live broadcasts, highlight shows, and TV fans show, contact the Chairman, Chief Coordinator, Angelo Peter I. Elosia, or Nick Onyishi. Organizers, Grassroots International Sports Academy and LOP Worldwide Television. Endorsed by the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. Broadcast partner, NTA.
You're welcome back. Now, news across the globe is next, and Obiageli Ugokwe is standing by.
Hello and welcome. Turkey has signed an agreement on the fight against terrorism in Africa with a focus on East and Horn regions. The agreement was announced at a joint press conference in Khartoum at the end of Turkish President's 3-day visit to Sudan. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu said his country is supporting Sudan's war on terrorism because it is keen to check the menace across the African continent. Meanwhile, South Sudanese President Salva Kiir has promised a new dawn of peace and stability in 2018. President Kiir in Juba said his government's top priority is to restore peace and unity among all South Sudanese communities. He said the recent signing of the cessation of hostilities agreement in Addis Ababa is a sign of ending the violence in the country. In the meantime, a prize-winning New York-based Cameroonian novelist will be freed from jail and expelled from his native country after being held for nearly 3 weeks on charges of insulting and threatening the president. Patrick Nganaga was arrested on December 7th as he prepared to board a flight to Kenya. He was accused of insulting President Paul Biya. The government also said he had threatened Biya in a post on Facebook. Nganaga said the accusations were politically motivated. Thanks for being there. I am Obiageli Ugoke.
Thank you, Obiageli. And a report just reaching us says the Future Assured program of the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has reached Taraba State, where women, youths, and even men have been given various empowerment kits to become financially independent. That's not all. They have got cash donations to support the small-scale businesses and petty traders from across the state. Aliyu Kabir takes it up from here.
I thank her for what she done for us today, because she keep us to raise up and do the things that can help us and our children.
So you can see that has boost our morale, and it will also go a long way to now create more opportunities for the younger ones.
To guide our life and our business in a society.
These are the voices of some of the beneficiaries of various empowerment items from across the 16 local government areas of Taraba State. They have benefited from the items such as tricycles, popularly known as keke napep, sewing machines, and local spaghetti making machines. Other gestures include cash donations to support the small-scale businesses as well as petty traders and other low-income earners from the grassroots with the aim of boosting their income for a better living. Presenting the items to the beneficiaries on behalf of the wife of the president, the Commissioner of Water Resources, Ahmad Rufai Abubakar, enjoined them to use the materials judiciously, thereby stepping up their social security.
I'm pleased to inform you that vast majority of those that were given these packages were the less privileged in the society. And empowerment, as I have already said, we told them categorically this thing was given to them to empower them and their family.
The beneficiaries are optimistic that the gesture will go a long way in enhancing their economic status and generally improving their living standards. In Jalingo, Taraba State, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
And for a bit on sports, Amazimakas is standing by.
The Nigerian